Hi, we got a wonderful question here. It says, in a mathematics test, the following marks were obtained by 40 students. Okay, and we need to arrange these marks in a table using tally marks. Okay, now when we talk about tally marks, so basically we have to create three columns. Okay, the first column is the information we are talking about. Here we are talking about the marks. The second column would be the tally marks and the third column would be the frequency. Clear? So let's create a table over here. Okay, so we have a table here with three columns. The first column is the marks, second column is the tally marks, and the third column is called as the frequency. And over here we are talking about number of students. Okay, now in the column of marks, the minimum value what is given to us is 1. Okay, and the maximum value we have is 9. So right, starting from 1 to 9, we have to write all the points on the first column. So we'll write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and so on up to 9. Clear? Okay, now we have to start with our tally marks. Now when we say tally marks for a particular data, we just have to put a vertical line here. Okay, or we can say it as a stick. Okay, now if suppose we have the fifth data has to be represented in the form of a slant line, so that the collection of 5 data will give us 5 frequencies, so it is easy for us to count. Alright. Okay, now here we have the numbers arranged in terms of columns as well as in terms of rows. Now it is up to you, you go either column wise or row wise. So here I am considering column wise. So the very first number given to us is what? 8. So let's consider 8 and we need to draw the stick corresponding to 8, or we can say we have to record the data corresponding to 8. Alright. After that we have 4. So corresponding to 4, let's record the data over here. Then we have 7. So corresponding to 7, let's record the data over here. Again we have 7, so again we can record the data for 7. Clear? The first column is done. Let's move on to the second column. So starting with 1. So when we have 1, so corresponding to 1 we can record the data here. Okay. Then we have 9. So corresponding to 9, let's record the data over here. We have 3. So corresponding to 3, let's record the data over here. After that we have 4. So corresponding to 4, let's record the data over here. Then we move on to the third column here. It says 3. So corresponding to 3, let's record the data here. Then we have 5. So corresponding to 5, we are going to record the data. Then we have 8. So corresponding to 8, let's record the data. After that we have 5. So we have to record the data for 5. Okay. Then next one is 7. So for 7, let's draw the tally mark here. After 7 we have 3, so let's record the tally mark over here. Then after 3 we have for 4. Then after 4 we have 6, so we have to record the very first tally mark for 6 over here. Okay. Now let's move on to the next column. Again we are here starting with 6. So for 6, let's record the tally mark over here. Then comes 7. So for 7, let's record the tally mark. Alright. Then comes 2. So corresponding to 2, we have to record the very first tally mark, so let's record it. Then after that we have it for 9. So corresponding to 9, let's record the tally mark. Then after that we have the next column starting with 5. So let's record it for 5. Then comes 1. After 1, what is the next one? Yes, it is 8. So corresponding to 8, let's record the data over here. After that we have 6. So corresponding to 6, let's record the data over here. Then comes 5. So corresponding to 5, let's record the data. Then after that we have 6. So corresponding to 6, we have to record the data over here. Clear? Then comes 9. So corresponding to 9, we'll record the data over here. Then comes 4. So corresponding to 4, we have to record the data. Then again there is 4, so corresponding to 4, let's record the data. As this is the fifth one, we have recorded the data this way. Okay. Now after that we have 5. So let's record the fifth data for 5. So it has to be done this way. Okay. So that we can easily count the tally mark over here. Then after that we have again 5. So we are going to leave some prominent space and we draw the tally mark. Clear? Then comes 4. So when we say 4, corresponding to 4, we have to put the tally mark. So we leave some space and we start with the next set of tally marks. Alright? Then again there is 4. So again we can start plotting for 4. Okay? Then after 4 it comes 2. So for 2, let's record the data over here. Clear? Then after 2 we have 8. So corresponding to 8, let's record the tally mark over here. Clear? Then after 8 we have 6. So corresponding to 6, let's record the 5th data. So it has to be done the slant way. Okay? So we draw the slant line. So this is group of 5 data. Okay? Then comes 2. So let's record the data for 2. Then 7. So corresponding to 7, that is the 5th data. So we have to put the tally mark this way. Is that clear? Then comes 6. So leave some prominent space and put a tally mark over here. Then again the last one over here is again it is 6. So for corresponding to 6, we can draw the tally mark over here. Alright? Okay, now no more marks are being left. So therefore we have completed with the tally marks. Now once the tally marks are done, we have to write the frequency, and over here it is the number of students. Now this frequency will give us how many students have scored 1 mark. We can easily count and we can write here 2. Okay? How many students have scored 2 marks? 3 students. Then comes how many students have scored 3 marks? 3 students. Then for 4, we can easily count this as 5 plus 2, that is 7. Clear? Then how many students have scored 5 marks? It is very simple. 5 plus 1, that is 6. For 6, we can again count 5 plus 2 is what? Yes, it is 7. After that, we have how many data? 5. So we can write here 5 for the marks 7. Then for 8, we can count easily and we can write 4. And for 9, we can see there are 3 tally marks, so we have to put 3. Clear? Okay. Now, once we got the number of students for each tally marks, we can take the total. And also we can see the total number of students given to us is what? 40. And when we count all this value, that should be also equal to what? 40. Okay. So if you count 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 7 plus 6 plus 7 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3, that is equal to 40. Clear? If suppose this value is not equal to 40, means we have missed some or the other tally marks. So we have to recheck and then we have to see to it whether we are getting the total as 40 or not. Alright. Now once the table is done, the tally mark is done. Now there are some additional questions being asked. So using this table, we are going to answer a few questions. Find how many students obtained marks equal to or more than 7. Now equal to or more than 7 means 7, 8, 9. So we need to find how many students have scored 7 or more. So we just have to add these 3 values. Okay. So it is 5 plus 4 plus 3. So when we say 5 plus 4 plus 3. So what is 5 plus 4? It is 9. And 9 plus 3 is what? 12. So we can say 12 students have scored more than 7 or equal to 7. Clear? Okay. There is one more question here. How many students obtained marks below 4? Now when we say below 4 means 4 and below, that means 4, 3, 2, 1. But over here it says below 4 means less than 4. So we are not going to consider 4. So it is 3, 2 and 1. So let's check how many students have scored below 4. So below 4 means we have 1, 2, 3. So students who have scored 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 marks will come under below 4. So it is 2 plus 3 plus 3. Okay. Now what is 2 plus 3? It is 5. And 5 plus 3? It is 8. So therefore we can say 8 students have scored marks below 4. And that completes your sum.